Yeah.
winners playmat for some of the more different tournaments. I know there are kind of different playmats for different level tournaments, but one of the playmats was the Treasure Planet one. That's the one he's rocking. I think that one's pretty cool looking.
Yeah, I was gonna go to that event, but I ended up just electing not to, just because it was like storming out really bad during that time. I really wanted that mat, but it looks amazing.
I definitely wanted it too, and I went down there and tried my hand at it. Unfortunately, that was the day I drew 3 whole new worlds in my opening hand, 3 games in a row. So didn't really have much of a chance on those games. It was a little rough, but definitely glad to have given it a shot. So pretty high roll for Ryan, looking like it looked like he did win. I didn't actually see John's. His dice were a little harder to read, but pretty hard to beat a 10 off
Yeah.
the roll. He's like I said, these are teammates, but trust me when I tell you, they will be treating each other like strangers and going as hard as they can. They will not be holding back in any way. Both of these players really want that bragging rights coming back to the clubhouse.
Yeah. Looks like John's going to be sending 5 back. Yeah, we're going to see some high level play from Ryan. He's, like I said, been playing Sapphire Steel since set 1, so he knows his deck very well. He knows all its matchups, so we're in for a show today.
100%. Both these players very confident with their decks. I have seen John trading in the Ruby Amethyst for the Amber and Ruby, so definitely he is learning that deck more so than Ryan is potentially, just because Ryan has stayed with his colors throughout the entire first season and this season. But that's not to say that John doesn't have a very firm grasp of how those colors work.
Yeah.
So both players got their mulligans out of the way. And it looks like we are going to get started inking a bell to play a popsicle. I know that Ryan sometimes will leave his ink upside down until turn is over, just because keep track of it. I do like that sometimes, because sometimes I'll be like, did I ink? I'm not 100% sure. Popsicle, a quick card draw off the top. Pretty hard not to play that. I have a hard time when I draw that and Nothing to Hide. Both are really great turn ones.
Yeah. Prince Eric, not a lot of. We don't see Prince Eric a lot anymore. He's elected to playing it so that it takes out any of the one drop 1/3 characters that Purple Red has been playing. All the colors have them and have been playing. So we see a turn to Gothel from John, electing not to quest because the Prince Eric is threatening. And Fishbone for early ramp for Ryan.
He's going to use the Fishbone to then exert some ink and put another Popsicle on the play, really dumping his hand.
Yeah, Popsicle is one heck of a card, and being able to heal too. It's reminiscent of Upstart Goblin for those of you who played Yu-Gi-Oh. Already at 4 ink. We're gonna ink, and I see a past turn from John. That's not what you want to see.
He's definitely waiting for that that Gothel to come off, but I mean, at that, if you're Ryan, you know that, and you kind of want to stop that. So he might do something. I mean, I don't think he has the Grab Your Swords in his hand, but looking at the deck list,
4 Grab Your Sword, 2 Let It Go, and 4 Whole New World.
Yeah, so he's got songs. Removal, he's got songs, he's got stuff to play. I do think I see. I think it's a Whole New World, so he does have a song to play.
There's a Cogsworth, and next turn possibly singing a Whole New World with that Cogsworth. I can't even begin to explain my hatred for the card IRL for Cogsworth, because I'm so used to Pixelborn seeing the silver borders around it and the other characters. I'm used to seeing wards, so I brutally cannot tell what characters are warded and what characters have resist. It's so funny.
Yeah, it's definitely a lot to keep track of, especially when you have like multiple Cogsworths and Auroras and giving a ward to this person, not to this person. So, lots to keep track of.
And Tragic Hero Beast and Sing Whole New World. Yep.
Yeah, dumped his whole 7. Hand. Yeah, that was beautiful.
To be prepared.
Ooh, not a great rip off the top, but hey.
Wow. Yikes.
That's really, I mean, you shut down a lot of a lot of bite from the John's hand right there, and he gave up nothing for it. He literally just refueled.
Yeah, that's where Sapphire Steel shines, and nothing to hide.
Oh, let's
And
see what you got off of that draw. Beautiful. That's a great time to use that card. Late game for sure. So now he knows he has the Namari to worry about, some Stitch, a little bit of card draw off that Rapunzel. Looks like we got a Doc, the Gothel, so he's got a card draw
so
combo
no
in there.
Rapunzel.
Is that a Simba, not a Rapunzel?
It's a
Oh, it's a
Simba.
Simba. I'm sorry. Okay, so he doesn't have the
It's
Rapunzel.
kind of lackluster there.
Crazy how much they look similar at an angle.
Yeah. Yeah, Nothing to Hide is one of my favorite cards from the set. Hasn't been really seen play until now. I love this card in Ryan's deck in particular, especially when there's 6 ink. You just hardcast Whole New World, and then Nothing to Hide. This way you have perfect information.
100%. And then also, I mean, how do you say no to a one drop that draws itself back and can be inked if need be? I mean, it's a free card.
That's a better Upstart Goblin if I've ever seen one. Let me tell you.
Got 5 ink from John. Both players not gaining any lore so far.
He's going to elect to play the Namari in an attempt to take out that Tragic Hero next turn. Questing for 3/4. Going to 4.
There we go. Getting a little bit of traction on the board there. Definitely both of these players comfortable with the late game, able to stay calm under the first few turns, not really rushing into anything. So I don't expect this game to really start popping off for another couple turns, and then we're going to see some pretty big moves from both of them.
And it looks like there's no Cinderella in Ryan's deck.
We do have a Grab Your Swords Tinkerbell combo in Ryan's hand right there. Definitely able to do a whole bunch of damage with that. Gonna hit the Grab Your Swords for Sing It with Beast. Oh, another Grab Your Swords in hand too. He could double Grab Your Swords.
He could clear the whole board.
Is he gonna do it? 3, 6 for Tinkerbell. It looks like. So Tink's coming down. She's gonna wipe out those extra bits. So save that whole the Grab Your Swords, because realistically you're not gonna get as much value out of it using it right now, because those characters coming off the board they're not like threatening you too much. But if I'm him, I probably don't want to risk it. There you go. So he's gonna take him out anyway. So yeah, he just wants to save that for later. That's a great play. I mean, I definitely say keeping the Grab Your Swords is a play for sure. And now he has Cogsworth, still helping Eric. So Eric didn't take any damage from that.
And he could Popsicle heal the Cogsworth.
I think
would.
that's
100%. And Jafar.
Wow. Great board state from Ryan right there.
Surprising that he did not elect to heal.
I think he knows that if he heals it, it's not going to save him from anything that could rush down from Ryan or John's deck right now. So it's dead either way if he wanted to have it dead.
What's up, Doc?
So we got double Doc. So he's going to be able to play something real cheap next turn. Yeah. Definitely could throw down a Maleficent Dragon. I mean, most likely we're thinking Maleficent Dragon.
Ryan's deck is all foil too.
He likes that shiny stuff, man. Every single one of them. It almost makes it hard to see what the Jafar looks like from the top down.
So it's a good card in the format. It allows you to answer Surfer Mini effectively and survive too. It's a very challenging card to get around.
Turning the whole board sideways.
2, 4, 6, 7, 8.
Who do we
Questing
appreciate?
for 8.
Oh, sorry. I thought you were going a different direction with that. So we got Bell on the board now.
Double Bell.
Is that ink or is that being played? Okay. No, but I'm saying he's playing the bells. Oh my god.
He has to see Be Prepared.
He has to. He's saying if you don't be prepared, it's GG. It's game over. That is an impressive play. Yeah, that's a scoop. Yeah, for sure.
Wow.
That is insane how those bells, I don't think there's many people that play that steel Sapphire as just spot on as Ryan just did right there.
Yeah.
Because that was flawless. I mean, there was everything happened the way it needed to happen. He didn't heal. He didn't waste those popsicles. He has definitely got a ton of hours on that deck.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's up to John to try to pull it out for game 2. It's going to be a rough one. I think the hardest part about playing against teammates is you kind of lose that mystique. Ryan knows exactly what John's running.
Yep.
They play together. They help each other build these decks. They strategize together. They, talk about it. So, usually when you go into these matchups, there's a little bit, like you said earlier, that first game's that kind of wild card game really can set, one game's all it takes to really take you from, 2-0 versus, the 2-1, but also luck is a big factor, and if you get that first game, it's way easier to get the second game. Starting out, you get in your opponent's head. So Ryan taking that advantage away, and same thing with John taking that advantage away from Ryan, makes it to where you just see that deck play the way it's going to play.
Yeah. Like game one, it's kind of like your first date. You're all so nervous. You're breaking the ice, and then after that, smooth sailing. You know what's going to happen for the most part, and you just take game 2 and 3 a little bit more with information. You have so much more information compared to game 1. So
And then by game 3, you're married. All right, going into this game 2 here. Looks like, I just noticed Ryan's mat. That is fantastic. That's a very cool looking mat. Looks it's a Winnie the Pooh, but try to see if that's a Kingdom Hearts or if that's just Christopher Robin looking cool. I think it's Christopher Robin. It's a very cool mat. I love to see all these different mats that are coming out that are Disney related and Disney themed. It kind of is that kind of like your staple or your brand in a way. Some people. So we got mulligans coming from both guys. Looks like we got about 3 or 4 cards for Ryan for his hand. Both players, I mean, they're so synced up. They got the same sleeves and everything. They could just switch decks right now. They wouldn't even notice.
Yeah, it's hard to play against somebody with the same sleeves. God forbid one of the cards just gets whoop, plopped into the deck. You'll never know. It sucks.
And then all of a sudden, judges are coming over because you got a green card in your purple amethyst deck.
Yeah.
Or purple ruby amethyst deck. Purple. So we got the cut happening here. So both of these players, again, playing very, very well. I think that Ryan having the ability to ramp up super duper duper quick puts a lot of pressure on John to get the right cards out fast. Ooh, an evasive Goofy. He could go full evasive. I don't believe Ryan's running many, if any, evasive characters.
He's running the Jafar, but he can't take down the Goofy at all.
Very true.
Yeah, that's his only evasive character. Oh, and a Simba. So he's off to the races. John questing for 1.
I do love that John put his lore counter up there with every intention to count it on the mat.
Yeah.
Let's not move that thing, I don't think.
And Eric comes down to get rid of that Simba and survive.
Yeah.
That card is putting in work.
So now we're looking at a few different options here. I mean, he's probably going to want to going to ink the Goofy. I think the evasive is so powerful in a matchup where the opponent doesn't have it.
I would like to ink the Mufasa instead, because since there are cards like Let It Go and Hades, your Mufasa is not really going to resolve in this matchup.
Yeah. It has potential, but it's definitely a higher chance that it just goes away a different way.
Yeah. Quest for 2.
We definitely have some. It looks like either a smash or another grab your swords toward the front of his hand right there. That's a smash, and he's got the fishbone quill, so he's ramping up, taking out and surviving on that Simba and leaving that queen. So he does still have that shift potential of the queen, but I don't think that Ryan's really too worried about that. Now the queen's going to take out that Eric. I think that's a really good call, just because, I mean, he's a lot stronger than people give him credit for. He can do way more damage than you really want him to be doing. So we're going to ink the Mufasa to bring out Namari. That looked like it was a tough choice for John. I think he really wanted to play that Mufasa out. Oh, he's got another one. Okay, so they're still on the board. Now that Namari is almost... I would assume it's probably going away with that smash. Its ability is enough to where you don't really want to have it just do what it needs to do.
Yeah. So, Fishbone Quill active. He wants to get something of 5 or greater cost out, but he's going to elect to do Mickey Mouse instead of the smash, since Namari doesn't really want to go into a Mickey. Fishbone Quill and pass. Not using a manual ink.
Gonna ink a big Stitch. Gonna put that Rockstar into the inkwell. Putting out that Mufasa, getting him on board, and with that Namari, again, it's kind of a waste to throw her away just for the Mickey.
He's gonna.
But it looks like he's gonna do it. Okay, interesting. Just really trying to maintain board state. It looks like is what John's trying to
Yeah,
do because I
plus
saw last game that he is capable of taking it up a notch. He doesn't want Mickey to sing anything like a one jump ahead. Actually, I don't know if he is running a one jump ahead. Let me check.
yeah. He's not using the lore thing, so I think he quested for 1, goes to 4.
So now that Tinkerbell coming out, gonna clear out that queen, put the damage on the Mufasa.
So, you know,
That bell would be a good. Oh, it's gonna ink her. Interesting.
he's probably setting up for a whole new one.
It's definitely got to be because he's just dumping his hand at that point.
He's gonna play Tremaine. Oh, this is looking more in John's favor than last game, that's for sure.
Definitely. So he's gonna fishbone away that grab your swords, probably ink whatever he just got, and then play the whole new world. Oh, but it was a Tinkerbell, so he's gonna elect to play the Tinkerbell. That's not a bad choice. That way she can sing the whole new world, giving him a lot more power into that play.
I don't know why there's another damage on Tremaine. Should be at 1. Quested for 2, goes to 6. Or no, goes to 8 now. And Rapunzel's away the Tremaine. There should only be 1 on that Tremaine. Is
That's
that?
interesting.
Um,
Wonder if that was
I think that was a mistake. We should possibly go correct.
So Michael's actually going over to the table right now to verify that Lady Tremaine had the correct amount of damage on her. The Lady Tremaine came out after a Tinkerbell had already done damage, and so it should have technically only been at 1 damage. So we are double checking that. Now, typically in like local play or fairly simple play, like you're gonna see just hey, it is what it is. That's my mistake. As we get into the higher levels, there, those little things, that extra card that we draw, all that knowledge that he gains from what card it was, that really can make a difference. So we want to make sure that the order of operations was done the right way. Where it looks like we were backtracking our steps right now, so we're seeing kind of what actually happened, what order it happened in. I do believe it was Tinkerbell and then a Lady Tremaine to get rid of the Tinkerbell. So the Lady Tremaine that came down should have had 0 damage on her, and then the new Tinkerbell that came down would have just put the 1 damage on. So it does make a difference because putting the damage on Tremaine or taking the damage off of Mufasa. Now, realistically, the correction that's probably going to end up being what they go with is the damage went off of Mufasa because that's the least amount of variance in what actually happened. So luckily in this one there's not much that's going to change. It won't change too much, but again, it does matter. So we definitely wanted to clear that up. So that Tremaine is coming back. I think she is coming back onto the field. And Michael's coming back, so we're going to see how that ended up resolving. Give us just one moment. All right, sorry about that. Just trying to clear up a little bit of the confusion here. So both players have been paused, trying to figure out exactly what the outcome is going to be. I believe what we're going to do is we're going to rewind the play just a little bit because there was a opportunity for the Mufasa to get the damage removed, which would have still gotten the same amount of cards in the hand. It just would have been a difference of what character remains on the field and which character doesn't. So there is a bit of, again, a bit of a change there with that, but not so much that where it's going to change dramatically the way the game would have played out. So we're going to allow those players to play it out the way that it would have done. Now, realistically, in the future, there will probably be organized play rules with penalties like that, just like other card games that will be in place. But with Lorcana being a newer game, there's still a learning curve where there are some of these instances don't have exact rulings on them yet. So as the game develops, as the game grows, we're definitely going to see changes to how that situations like that will be handled. But right now, we're just going to let that play out the way that both, it's an outcome that both players feel comfortable with, and that resolves in a way that seems as fair as possible. So hopefully that clears up the confusion. We are going to add a little bit of time to their game to offset this time right here. So their round timer is going to be a little bit longer if they end up needing it all the way. So we'll kind of see how the game plays out, how long it ends up going. But there will be an additional time allotted if the players end up needing to go to that.
All right, so we were able to rewind the game state, and both players are in agreement that the game state is accurate.
So again, that doesn't change a ton, but it does change a little bit. So hopefully, in any kind of situation where you're kind of focused, you're in the zone, something like that can mentally rock you a little bit. So hopefully both players are able to stay focused and stay on point. John definitely having the advantage in this game. Hopefully that doesn't derail him, in the second half. Tinkerbell coming down with an attack on Lady Tremaine to go ahead and put some damage on Rapunzel, not wanting to let Mufasa go ahead and just get the draw off of that. But with Mufasa, if he's getting banished by the effect of Tinkerbell, does that still count as banished in a challenge?
If it says banished in a challenge, it would have to be banished in a challenge. Tinkerbell's ability to deal 2 damage is being dealt by an effect, not by challenge.
So if that's the case, then he might have been done a misstep there, because I don't think he knows that, because realistically it would have been made more sense for him to not put the damage on Rapunzel, but to take out the Mufasa, because it wouldn't have led to any kind of draw from him.
Well, no, the Mufasa would be able to be triggered if it was banished by card effect or by battle. It says so by banished any way possible.
Oh, so it doesn't say banished by challenge.
No, it says banished.
Oh, okay, so that's what that was my mistake then. That's what I was trying to clear up. So playing the nothing to hide, getting a peek at the hand, which looks a little light, so wasn't much to show.
Yeah.
It is funny seeing both of these players have similar tendencies, like both decks are turned sideways at an angle. Something is a little bit unique, but on the same team, kind of similar. Going to use that Bell to swing into Lady Tremaine, putting a little damage on Bell. Now, not quite at the big lore questing power of Bell just yet, but definitely whenever you see Belle on the field, Alice on the field, these characters that can do other stuff and give you extra bonuses, it adds a different variable to it for sure.
Yeah.
Throwing the Maldragon down to get rid of it. Doesn't want that threat on the board anymore. Going to go ahead and put up that big beast, that sad boy beast.
R&B should be at 1 lore. Because that Bell quest? Or no? Did he take out something?
So it looks like John at 14. Ryan still at 0 lore. Not on the board yet. Now, when we start to get that different in lore count, it's hard to come back. Got a lot of options. We're definitely deciding on what the best play is here. I think he has a whole new world. Grab your swords. He's got tons of choices. Might be 2 grab your swords even. That makes it even harder because you don't want to waste them.
Yeah, John's sitting at no cards in hand, it looks like. So he put all his cards on the table here. And here comes a grab your sword. and challenges the dragon.
Okay.
And the stitch should be down too.
Yep, there it goes.
Okay, good. Yeah.
All right, gonna elect to ink a bell and pass the turn.
Interesting. He's on no cards.
Ooh, Maui. So he's just top decking it here, and really that's he's got the lead. But with top decking against a blue steel, they have card draw, they have ramp, they have everything that they need to keep going. That kind of sucks. So he's getting lucky though.
Yeah.
A Maui and then a queen. Those are what's he gonna get next? All right, gonna elect to. Is that to play a Benja? I believe. Is he inking it?
I don't know.
Wish I knew.
Whole new
Oh,
world.
I think
he has to.
I think he. I want to say he played it. That's a weird spot to play it.
Yeah, giving your opponent a fresh new hand. That's.
I wouldn't have done that.
I would not have
If
either.
he's top decking, that's your only advantage at that point. That seemed like a. Oof. So it looks like he might have inked that Benja. Him leaving it up like that does confuse me a little bit. I do understand why he does it, but just not being at the table sometimes it gets a little confusing. But I'm assuming based on where he's put his cards before, that's probably the thing.
We're not able to hear him say ink
Yeah.
Benja. Yeah.
Okay. So he's gonna check out his opponent's hand, see what he got.
There's another dragon, but not able to take out the Cogsworth. The Maui's going to be able to clear out the Cogsworth.
Mm.
And Tremaine, even Tremaine could just clear Cogsworth.
It's gotta suck a little bit for John when he just wants to have a little bit of surprise and just keeps getting it taken away.
Let it go on the Queen.
Nice.
All right, so now R&B's board is going to get cleared here in theory. Maui's going to go into the Cogsworth, and then Tremaine can clean up the Beast.
Deciding what he wants to play and what order he wants to play it in.
It's a lot of ink.
10 ink, it looks like. Oop, make it 11.
Queen.
He's going to be able to play out that Maleficent Dragon. I think he was trying to be able to play a 3 and a 4. He's only going to be, or I'm sorry, a 9 and a 4. He's only going to be able to do a 9 and a 3.
I'd probably do.
Ooh, double.
Why are you not remaining the hero?
I think he knows he has the advantage with lore. Oh, he's going for just, I'm going to get you with this evasive thing. What can you do to stop me? But I do think he has two. Oh, he has answers. He's got Grab Your Sword. He's got a Hades. So that was a bold play by John.
I agree.
Gets an extra draw off the Beast, which is great. He needs that right now for sure. That the Let It Go, it looks like on the corner possibly. It's hard to tell with the foils. Hiram going into the Inkwell. Putting him at 12 ink. Got a Fishbone Quill to put him at 13 ink. Now with the Fishbone Quill, does not have to expose what that ink is. That's why that one's not staying up. He doesn't want his opponent to know what he's giving up.
Yeah, and another good part about that card, it can ink uninkables, which
yes,
one of the few cards of its kind that can do that.
Yep, huge in a pinch for sure. And he had the Hiram, so he could have gotten the card draw off that. So, and he's pretty low on cards, so that just shows you the value of that Fishbone. Got big combo play looking up with the Hades, it seems. Didn't want him to know. So he moved that 2 ink over, it looks like. Oh, so grab your swords first.
Cast, grab your sword.
So that gets rid of the Maui. It puts some damage on everybody else. What does he have next? A whole new world. So he has the ink. He's betting on another grab your swords or a Tinkerbell. Grab your swords to wipe the board. Tinkerbell to do a pretty good chunk. I think the Goofy, yeah, he's got 4. The Goofy's gonna survive.
Looks like he drew 1. Can't really tell again because of the foils.
Popsicle. Oh, he's fishing. Don't think he got it.
Nothing to hide.
Yep.
Try and draw it again.
He doesn't even care. He just wanted to draw. Oh, he's
No,
gonna
that's it.
concede. Yeah, he was really banking on that. Grab your swords, but that's okay. That gives him plenty of time for game 3. Another beautiful part about this meta: these games are fast. They are smooth and quick and go into it. So even with them taking, I mean, I would consider that a long game in this meta.
Absolutely.
Definitely a little bit of a hiccup in the middle there. Probably killed a little bit of that momentum John was carrying into there. Kind of like in sports. I mean, you got a timeout at the wrong time can really slow you down. It kind of feels a little bit like that in any game where you're mentally focused. Anything that breaks that can be tough. So
Absolutely.
now this third game, now we get to really see it, and I think that's how they would have wanted it. I don't think either one of these guys, knowing their teammates, knowing their friends, they don't want to 2-0 each other. I mean, they do, but it's a little bit more fair and fun if they both have a fighting chance at the win at the end.
Yeah, and they're looking like they're enjoying themselves.
100%.
They're laughing, smiling, even after that judge call. Definitely having a good vibe. That's all about this game. This game just brings such a good vibe. Like, it's not as crazy as some of the other card games out there. It's a good, slow paced, kind of enjoy your time kind of game.
100%. And speaking of that, if there's anybody in the area of Oviedo or Orlando, Florida, and you are looking to try and play Lorcana, maybe you play a little bit locally or you're looking to get into it, definitely come check out Versus Games on Sundays around 12:30, 1 o'clock. They start their local open play. You pay for a pack, you get some points, and then you can get more promos and stuff like that on top of it, as well as your first day promo of the Cinderella promo. So definitely check it out. Come on down. We'd love to have you here. And it's a great kind of vibe, just like you're seeing on screen. Everyone just kind of having a good time. It's a we're fighting and challenging each other, but we're all having a good time doing it, singing songs, just enjoying the game.
Yeah, I run the league here on Sundays, so it's again 12:30 p.m. We can push it back a little bit upon request. You pay $6 to enter. You pay $6 to enter. You get a pack on entry. You get a Cinderella promo on entry. There's no prize support, but at the end of the 4-week season, you guys get packs, you get promos, you get all the pins. It's a huge ball. Everybody fights for the points during the actual tournament. It's a great fun time.
Definitely, 100%.
We're going to go into mulligans now, and Ryan's going to be on the play.
That might go down in history as one of the most awkward fist bump exchanges I've seen here yet. So that was good. That was good to see. Good to see.
Mhm.
Oh, by the way, I got us 4 more boxes of Floodborne for the league for all the people watching out there. Yep. Yeah, I meant to tell you that earlier, Mike. Might be, bro.
My arm, Woo, I'm tired. Mark is the MVP. I see RMB over there. I couldn't get MVP out of my mouth. Let me tell you.
Words are hard. Letters are harder. Well, very good. Sounds like there'll be plenty of pack support for anyone looking to play on the weekends and get their Lorcana on. I know, again, I every week, at least 1 or 2 times a week, I'm trying to go out to locals, meet new people. Luckily, the game's still growing, still seeing people rip their first starter deck and trying it out, and that's great to see.
Yeah, it's great that the boxes and the packs are so readily available now. Because I remember in the beginning, I could not find packs anywhere. And I would have to try and win packs at locals or try and buy them on TCG Player, and it was rough getting my master sets. But now the packs are so readily available, it's crazy. And
100%.
here comes nothing to hide.
And exposing the full hand, so we got a Stitch, a Doc, a Rapunzel, a Hades, 2 Goofies, and a Queen. That is a
rough hand.
I mean, it's a pretty good hand if you already have a board state and some ink.
Yes.
It's a pretty poor hand if you're looking to do those things. Mm-hmm. So we'll see. Definitely I see those Goofies going into the inkwell probably.
Actually, no. If he doesn't see Queen early enough, well, maybe he can ink 1 Goofy.
That's what I was saying. At least 1 for sure.
I actually don't like Queen in this matchup because Cogsworth gives everything resist.
Yep.
So it's going to be hard to challenge out characters. So inking the Maui, that's kind of fine.
Now in this deck, I think he is running the Baby Stitch as well as the Rockstar Stitch, so not a huge threat being on turn 1. Ooh, pulling the Rockstar Stitch, that's a great pull. So now he has a little bit more incentive to keep that baby a little bit safer, especially with that Eric on the field. You don't want to just give him away. And we're not going to see a quest out of him. He definitely, the safer bet in a lot of these situations is if you know you're not going to survive it, just don't even quest it.
Exactly.
Prince Eric. and Fishbone Quill. Man, we have a very consistent turn coming out of Ryan. And I'm seeing this out of these players. You know, last time it was Joshua, this time it's Ryan. A very consistent turn 3. If you have your first few turns locked in, that's going to make your mulligan easier. That's going to make your game easier.
Exactly. A lot of the decks now, compared to set 1, have an actual game plan as to what they want to be doing on every turn. Usually in set 1, it was just play whatever card did the most, and it didn't matter what it was. But now there's actual game plans starting to be formed, new archetypes. It's great with more cards coming out.
100%. And I think that, you know, as we get into the next set with Into the Inklands, it's very, very interesting what each meta shift will do. And I think already with what we've seen, a lot of cool stuff.
Exactly. Yeah, so we're going to
Ooh.
hard cast a whole new world.
Very fast. He knew that hand that Alpha had was definitely going to be problematic going into the turn 4. He didn't want to worry about it. He didn't want to have to see what was, you know, what he was going to cook up with that. He's just going to give him a new shot. Now, if I know what Ryan's done the last few games, he's popped out a nothing to hide on this moment to see his hand. I'm curious if he's able to do it again. Doesn't look like he grabbed it. Those foils make it so hard on on the curve. Everything looked like a grab your sword. He does have another whole new world. Oof. I think I saw 2, and that's, you hate to see that in your hand.
Yep, that's 2.
Yeah.
And a Hades.
Yeah. A lot of uninkable. Luckily, it's got the Fishbone Quill. Good thing to throw out there. Oh, it looks like John, maybe he's going to use that evasive to his advantage. Maybe he realized last game how that was helping him, and he might lean into it a little bit more.
Yeah.
I definitely would, you know, considering the resist factor of Cogsworth and everything like that. You might just make them do the attacking.
Exactly.
Gosh, that ramp is nuts. He's already at like 8. I think 7 ink. That's so fast.
And without manual ink too.
Yep. Now, I feel like the options here, I mean, with the turn 4, next turn, he's going to most likely, your threat is a little bit of that Rockstar Stitch. He hasn't been questing with it. He's probably saving it for that. Do you just grab your swords right now and get rid of it? He's going to throw that Benja down. He still has the ink to do it.
Oh, no.
Benja and Jafar and a Prince. Oh, we're going wide.
I mean, yeah, definitely. He wants to cast one of the 2 whole new worlds in his hand next turn and have some more ink.
I cannot tell if there's a Be Prepared in John's hands either, so wide is a good option right now.
Yeah, it's making it a lot harder for John to want to quest and gain value with that dock, gain value with the mini, especially now that Jafar's on the field, that Jafar can take out the mini if he quests.
Yep.
And it looks like he's going for it.
Might as well get some value out of it while you can, it seems. With a Stitch too, though. That's interesting.
That's a little interesting. Tremaine.
Okay. So really not getting a great value out of Tremaine with that. Just because it could be anyone.
How? Oh, yeah. Doc reduces. Okay. Yeah.
He loses an Eric. That's okay.
Interesting play.
I will have to say, when I play my own games, I'm just as bad as John seems to be about turning his ink sideways. I just am habitual at not doing that.
I'm the same way. I played Magic for a very long time, and I exert all of my mana. Like, make sure nobody is confused.
Got some. Almost everyone is just about done for on Ryan's side right here. Lots of damage, so got Beast coming out.
That card will be able to sing Whole New World.
Yep. Unfortunately, with the red and amber, there's not much board, attacking the board at all at once. So you got to be prepared, and that's it.
Yep.
So the wider I think that Ryan knows that his advantage is the ability to have as many cards as he has and just keep going wide and hope that he doesn't get be prepared. Because I think that you were talking earlier about players playing around it. Ryan doesn't seem like a player that's playing around it.
No,
he's figuring out, and he had to recall that doc. It's one of those. It's one of the problems with not turning your ink sideways.
Yeah.
Now here, like
You can honestly just play the Stitch, but then it could just get removed by Let It Go or Hades.
taking out a Benja.
I don't know. I
Yeah.
kind of would have quested.
Putting Mufasa out. Yeah, I feel like taking out the Benja. I don't know. I think you get more value if you quest and let the Benja do something versus.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Because like at the
'Cause
end of
now
the
it's a-
day, his characters are gonna do Ryan's characters are gonna do the work of challenging the
Yep.
characters that you're questing with. So you just denied yourself lore,
You
and
just
then
lost that Mufasa because the Hades put into the inkwell. That's rough.
one of the only way that it does not trigger. Actually, no, two ways: Hades going into the inkwell, Let It Go going into the inkwell, or being shuffled back by Yzma. That also does not trigger Mufasa since it's not being banished.
The Dragonfire would still trigger.
Dragonfire will still trigger. If the card says banish, it triggers.
Yep. We got Namari and a mini coming out. That mini has not. I thought she was going to be a way bigger threat today. She is just not the star of the show like I thought she would be.
She ends up getting dealt with by Smash. That's in Ryan's deck. Hades, Let It Go, cards like that. Grab Your Sword, Tink. So many ways to answer that card.
Really seeing
And Jafar. Oh my gosh.
seeing a big uptick in the blue steel out in the field today.
Yeah, there's 6 of them, at least.
Ooh, there we go. Some popsicle card draw. Reviving that popsicle deck that was so infamous in the first few weeks of this meta.
Oh, yeah, there was nothing but red blue.
Yep. I thought it was here to stay, man. I'm really surprised it went away, but that's the beauty of an ever shifting meta.
Exactly. And Smash takes out the Namari. Keeps the tragic hero alive.
That's not a bad play because that Namari just being able to take out anything at all, it's huge.
Quest for 5, go to 9.
Still having the ability to hit that fishbone if he wants to. Passing
Things are
return.
not looking good for John.
No, it's a very slow start, and then again, just that ramp and the ability to have like so many commanding characters. I just think that this matchup seems a bit rough for John's deck against it.
Yeah, not a good matchup at all.
Yeah. He's gonna choose what he wants back for that Hades. There's not a ton of like crazy options. I mean, you got Lady Tremaine in there. You got a Rapunzel, I think, but
Maybe Goofy?
yeah, maybe that would be probably a pretty good one. I would say.
Yep, he grabs back Goofy.
I think it was a Rapunzel.
Oh, Rapunzel.
Yeah. So taking the Rapunzel, going for the card draw. I think that's. I would be focusing more on trying to catch up a little bit at this point. Okay, but he had the Gothel, so that's the reason why he wanted that Rapunzel. That makes sense.
That was a little greedy, though.
So
So
now
now
if anything
Tinkerbell.
comes down that does damage, he's done. Tinkerbell, grab your swords, and we know he has both of them in his hand, I think. So
Yeah, I see a Tink.
that's unfortunate for John on this one. That might be able to close her up pretty quick. Oh, he has so many answers in his hands. Gonna go ahead and throw some ink down. Yeah, if Tinkerbell's coming down for sure. Put in a bell.
Interesting.
I would have played the bell. That much ink pretty much guarantees lethal on the board. Ooh. That does too, though, a little bit. That's pretty rough, man. I mean, that's an easy 2-turner. That's another 5, 6
6.
lore.
It was 15.
Oh, and there goes the fishbone. Oh, he did your job so well. Yeah, so that's lethal on the board, and John not having much that he can do in this situation except to be prepared. And I think,
Yep.
yeah, that's a concede, and there it is. All right, well, very good. Ryan comes out on top with the Sapphire Steel deck. That is another great one that I love to see. I mean, I honestly expected Amber Steel, Ruby Amethyst. That's all I was going to see today. So seeing variations of that and seeing other decks perform super duper duper well, I love that.
Yeah, playing the Sapphire Steel deck, you will not see better gameplay if you don't watch Ryan. Like he streams this deck nonstop.